found the Earth to be the perfect shape of a cube, standing in the center of the universe, with all other heavenly bodies scattered round and about.
Welcome back to Pinero's Mind. So today I want to discuss something a little bit different, right? As you can probably see in the title. We're always talking about Trump lately, we're talking about COVID, we've been talking about rappers dying, we've been talking about Hollywood, you know, certain paedophilia stuff going on, and this, that and that and the third, and a lot of idol worship going on, you know, a lot of sexual situations going on. But today I want to talk about the Earth, because this is the whole thing. When we're thinking about all this other stuff that's going on, there's crazy stuff going on. Now, I'm not saying that that stuff is not serious, you know, especially the people that are dying in Chicago. That place is getting, it's got a target on its back. Get out of there. But let's not forget, the whole planet has a target on its back. So when you're watching these things, you're watching TV and you're watching these shows and you're hearing about this and hearing about that, I noticed that not a lot of people cover the Earth. This is what we're living on, you know, it's really important. I know your idols that you like worship might seem important to you, but I feel the Earth, you know, whether you want to call it Mother Earth or, you know, I feel that it's very important because we have to live here, you know. We are humans that are adapted to live on planet Earth, to be able to breathe, you know, the water that's here, you know, that's very important, the water. So there's been a lot of things that's been going on lately. You got California, fire, they just woke up in the middle of the night and there's like a fire. To me, that sounds mad dodgy.
Lightning siege, setting off hundreds of fires. The governor of California declaring a state of emergency tonight.
I went outside. It was the roar of the fire that I'd never heard anything like that in my life.
Fire coming down the hill, so we're leaving.
Thousands in the region woke up in the middle of the night to find ominous scenes.
Fires are burning out of control all over California, including around a dozen of 1,000 acres or more.
Enormous clouds of smoke mounted into the sky, worsening air quality across the region. The Northern California blazes began with thousands of lightning strikes spawned by unusual dry thunderstorms, hitting on one of the hottest nights of the year.
A rare sight across the skies of the Bay Area, photos and videos flooding into the newsroom all day.
The temperature over there is supposed to be crazy, so things can blow up, you know, things can start fire. This is heat, it can happen. But these people are saying they woke up to fire, you know, and they had to get out of there. Like, it's a very scary thing for those families, and I feel that everyone should pray for the families in California, as well as praying for the families everywhere. And please pray intently, because your prayers won't be heard if you don't pray the right way, okay? So I want to show you some clips today of various things that's been going on, because there's been some very strange things going on. You know, while we're watching this stuff behind the scenes, there's things going on, especially with the planet. All right, so let's take a look at this.
We begin with some breaking news. A series of earthquakes rocking Baja California this morning, the strongest, a magnitude 5.1. People across San Diego County felt the impact of them. The 5.1 magnitude quakes hit around 8:30 this morning, about 40 miles from San Diego. And we don't always see them coming this quickly in bursts, where you're seeing them at different magnitudes. Is there something unusual about this, or is this more the norm?
It's a 5.1 magnitude earthquake, and yet we're having aftershocks here, 4.5, 4.4, 4.3. In other words, almost the same size. That's why I'm suspecting that we're triggering other nearby faults into action as well. So we're sort of having a regional movement distributed on more than one fault.
A magnitude 6.5 earthquake has struck the central Philippines, killing one person and injuring dozens more. A family in Masbate province were left trapped when their house collapsed. There's no threat of a tsunami, but authorities are warning people to prepare for aftershocks. Well, Jamela Anadoligan is joining me live from Manila. This is coming at a particularly bad time, isn't it? Because the country is already going through an economic downturn.
They have also raised the alert of around 4 volcanoes in many parts of the southern Luzon and central Luzon region, looking at the activity of these volcanoes. It remains to be seen whether these have direct relations to the earthquake that happened a few hours ago.
It's only the start of fire season in the Amazon, but it's already the worst in a decade. Brazil's National Institute for Space Research is reporting a total of 6,300 blazes in July, 28% more than for the same period in 2019.
Rumblings in one of the hottest places on the planet. Today, a 4.8 magnitude earthquake struck Death Valley National Park. It happened right around 10:30 this morning. Now, there are no reports of damage to park buildings or roads. The quake, though, follows a week of record heat there. It was 130 degrees on Sunday.
High winds are fanning the flames. A resident of Lassen County caught video of this rare funnel-shaped fire tornado whirling across burning grasslands. California and much of the southwestern United States are in the grip of a brutal heat wave, following months of extremely dry weather.
As fires are scorching California, veteran firefighters say they've never seen such extreme conditions. In recent years, the winds...
This fire is made to run. You can see those flames behind me. The embers are burning.
We've been through a lot of fires in this area. Nothing like this.
It was like the entire wall of the forest was just coming at us down the road.
Families racing to escape flames pushed by heat and wind.
Up and down the street, there's quite a few homes and structures that are burning right now.
Near Vacaville, a city of 100,000 northeast of San Francisco, multiple fires are tearing through communities. More than 46,000 acres scorched.
I mean, think about it. You actually have a whirling column of air with wind speeds possibly exceeding 60, 70, 80, maybe even 100 miles per hour on fire.
The fire-nado warning came in the afternoon, not seen in California since 2018, when the strongest tornado in state history emerged out of the Carr Fire. An EF3 with over 136 mile-per-hour winds. The size of the latest fire-nado is unclear.
Officials say Thursday that multiple wildfires have now burned into each other, creating massive spans of flames called complexes.
Overnight, another onslaught from an ever-expanding inferno. A full-fledged air attack in a desperate race to save homes and lives. As flames rip across hillsides, highways have become treacherous escape routes.
Worst fire I've ever been through. We've been through a lot of fires.
Many of the fires exploding with no warning, leaving residents little time to escape.
The sky, which I've never seen before, was totally glowing red all around.
We are experiencing fires, the likes of which we haven't seen in many, many years.
Fires are raging over a 100-mile stretch from Napa's wine country to the Santa Cruz Mountains, the San Francisco Bay Area smothered by some of the worst air quality on the planet.
Many of the fires were sparked by an unprecedented amount of lightning earlier this week. Nearly 11,000 lightning strikes were reported in a span of just 72 hours. The extraordinary conditions were triggered by severe thunderstorms, coupled with hot desert air from Arizona and Nevada and moisture from a tropical storm off the coast of Mexico.
Well, we've seen a lot of wild weather this weekend, but take a look at this video shared with us on Twitter. There's a phenomenon ultra rare known as ball lightning. Can't really say if that's an example, but scientists can't really explain the phenomenon either, other than the fact that it looks like a ball of lightning exploding. Kind of looks like that, and sometimes leaves behind a sulfur smell. So incredible video shared with us tonight, and very cool we get to share it with you as well.
Now look at that.
California health officials reporting the state's first case of plague in 5 years. El Dorado County officials say the patient is a local resident who was likely bitten by an infected flea while walking a dog near South Lake Tahoe. California's last plague case was in 2015 when a child contracted it while camping at Yellowstone National Park. The state's last reported case before that was in 2006.
Magnitude quake struck southern Mexico. It was centered near the coastal resorts of Oaxaca, and the shaking rattled buildings and nerves 435 miles away in Mexico City.
The earthquake caused people to run into the streets in the state of Oaxaca. Video shared on social media shows frightened neighbors in front of telephone poles that were swaying. Windows slid open and closed in this building near the center of a town. And another clip from Mexico City shows a blue car nearly hopping while large windows in the building in the background take on a jello effect.
You know, panic.
Oscar Delgadillo of San Jose was on vacation in Mexico City and says it shook his hotel for over a minute.
It's 90 seconds for after that I hear the sirens. Everybody go outside. It's terrible, 7.5, but everybody's well.
Mexico City residents were forced to the streets as buildings swayed. Dozens of healthcare workers were seen leaving a major hospital.
Standing on shaky ground and feeling the earth swaying beneath one's feet. Shockwaves from a powerful earthquake brought towns and cities across Mexico to a halt. It was very strong. I had never felt such a strong earthquake, only in 1985. Today's earthquake felt very, very strong on shifting pavement. After the strong 7.5 earthquake, there have been 147 aftershocks. So they recommend that we remain alert and attentive. But while feeling the aftershocks, some Mexicans preferred appealing to a higher power.
It's just one of those really unnerving feelings, isn't it? Apparently, when whatever is underneath you gives way. That's the bit that we don't like about it, because you've got control over the surface that you're standing on.
Yeah. Well, we've, in the last year, we've located over 22,000 earthquakes in New Zealand and the offshore region. Now, the vast majority of those are going to be, magnitude 1s and 2s, far too small for people to actually feel. But, we probably have, a few hundred, 200 or 300 every year that people feel. And the one, I guess, nice advantage is that most of the bigger ones, or many of the larger ones anyways, occur offshore. So that tends to mitigate the damage they might do.
That's still quite a lot, though, isn't it? 200 to 300 a year that people actually feel. And so like I mentioned in the introduction, we felt about 3 over the last few days. Is there any correlation between the ones that we've felt recently, or is it just a bit of a coincidence?
Self-made on the track.
Wildfire stands as a colossal catastrophe. 85 people died, 250 listed as missing. But it is not the deadliest wildfire in American history. That grim statistic belongs to Wisconsin.
1871, which just happened to be the same
night as the Great Chicago Fire.
Scott Nickelbein spent a lot of time researching the Great Peshtigo Fire for his book.
The Peshtigo Fire was the first firestorm in recorded history. It's not that there wasn't any firestorms before that, but this was the first event in which our science and understanding of the weather and of materials and of the way fire behaves.
In fact, it would have looked a lot like this firestorm in California over the summer, which actually produced fire tornadoes.
Within a matter of 15 to 20 minutes, the whole city was burning at one time. I can't imagine what was going through those people's minds. They knew they had to run for their life.
Survivors would tell of fireballs blasting through town, smashing into people and buildings, instantly igniting them. In one night, what residents described as swirling fire tornadoes had burned more than a dozen towns. In Williamsonville, flames chased the 77 residents into open fields. 60 are dead. Some reportedly took their own lives as the fire closed in. Tornado Park now memorializes the fire tornado's victims. Experts say the full death toll across the region was probably about 2,500. Today, a small museum in Peshtigo houses artifacts like a melted watch, a scorched Bible.
The Peshtigo Fire is sometimes called the Forgotten Fire because on the same night in 1871, the city of Chicago burned down. The Great Chicago Fire killed 250 people.
So people, you see what's going on with the Earth? The Earth's taking a battering. It's taking a battering. Now, why is the Earth taking a battering? It's because of that planetary system above us. You see, when these planetary systems come through our solar system, right, it affects the planet. It has to affect the planet because everything is attached to everything in the universe. You understand what I'm saying? So, and this ain't the first time this is happening. There's been records and documentation of celestial things passing through and having an effect on the planet, just like how the corona mass ejections from the sun have an effect on the planet, right? So we've been warned, right, about certain things, you know, like crop eating creatures. You know what I'm saying? We've been warned about these things, and it's like people are still not waking up to understand. Now, locusts are serious creatures. They're serious creatures. They take out crops, right? But to make it worse now, another one's come up, and it's a different species. So there's like 3 different species of locust right now. Yeah, they tore up Africa already, right? And then now they're saying there's some coming from the desert, right? And then it's like, when do you people really need to, like, all right, look, let's not even go there like that. I'm not even gonna say it like that because I'm giving you the knowledge right now. You lot might not know about this, what I'm telling you, innit? But I know a lot of people do watch the news now. I'm gonna put up some more clips for you. Now, I don't mind putting up these clips from the news because you can't really, you can do propaganda, but the weather, you can't really do propaganda on the weather because they're talking about specific places and there's people there that have gone through what they've gone through. So we know when we watch these type of clips, we know that it's real, you know? Not like some clip of some town that's been infested and people were walking around with masks on, and that we can't tell with these clips, but with these clips we can tell. With the Californian fires we can tell. With the Australian fires we can tell. All right, so these locusts now, yeah. Let me show you what they're saying about these locusts.
While swarms of locusts have been spreading in the Middle East and India in the past couple of weeks, destroying crops, a different breed has appeared in southern regions of China. China's state-run CCTV reported that swarms of locusts appeared in southern Yunnan province, damaging 103 square kilometers in 4 prefectures. The report also said the locust first appeared in late June, but is a different species from the desert locust that's been sweeping the Middle East, Pakistan, and India.
Now, Kenya has been hit by a second wave of locusts after billions of these tiny insects swarmed across the nation earlier in the year. In the Turkana County, swarms of locusts have caused large-scale damage to standing crops, leading to farmers in a state of despair about their near future.
Desert locusts swarming the Turkana County have been on a rampage in what experts are calling the worst invasion the country has seen in 70 years.
So as you can see by that footage, very concerning. Because crops, we need crops. We eat, right? You know? Plants, flowers, they need to be pollinated, you know? It's bad enough that the bees are nearly non-existent. And please, when you get a chance, research what bees do for this planet. Google it. And we've got a problem with the bees too. But listen to what I'm saying, like, I didn't want to play this next footage because there's a lot of you are not going to be happy about this next footage. It ain't nothing gory or nothing like that, or explicit or nothing like that. But when I first saw this footage, I knew instantly that things are definitely going downhill for this planet, and there's not a lot of time left, right? Because even my daughter, yeah, she loves this animal, you know, you know, and it's sad, it's really sad, you know, and it's mysterious also, yeah. Take a look at this.
Authorities in Botswana are investigating mysterious deaths of elephants after a spike in recent weeks.
Aerial photos reveal elephants collapsed on their sides or face down in the Okavango Delta. Botswana's government says they started dying mysteriously in March. They've counted 275 carcasses so far. The National Park Rescue says the actual number of dead elephants could be more than 400.
Authorities have ruled out poaching as a potential cause of death as the carcasses were found intact. Labs in Zimbabwe, South Africa and Canada are processing samples to determine the cause of death.
And it seemed they were even dying, you know, very suddenly in some of the cases. The carcasses were animals that had fallen down while walking. Reports were coming in 2 or 3 months ago when this first started. So something's happening and action is clearly needed.
As Botswana has 1/3 of all the elephants on the continent, the potential for this having a truly catastrophic impact on the population is very real.
Conservationists say they have recorded dead elephants of all ages and sexes. They say many more appear confused, are unable to walk and appear emaciated, cautioning the death toll may still rise.
So yeah, people, as you can see, they mash up the planet, man. You know what I mean? They mash up the planet with pollution and also with their hearts and the negativity that they hold, bringing this destroyer closer to us and putting us in this position, you know what I'm saying? And that's what it comes down to. And obviously, it's not just those, it's all of us as well adding to it with the stuff that we do from day to day and the negativity that we bring out as well sometimes. They make the excuse that we're not perfect, but then we don't really try hard enough to change. Everyone knows right from wrong. Everybody knows right from wrong. A 5-year-old knows right from wrong. You know, gotta stop making excuses to change. You know, like, look at me. I'm the perfect example. Look what I used to be into. But we have to start at some point. You know, we can't keep blaming the elites. They done this, they done that to us, they put us in slavery. That's why you don't really hear me talk a lot about slavery on my channel. And the reason why I don't talk about slavery a lot on my channel is because our brothers are still sinning. Not just our brothers, but we're still sinning. How are we talking about what happened to us and we do it to each other? We don't go as far as they did, but you know what I'm trying to say. So that's it really for me, you know. So I just wanted to just keep you up to date on, you know, what's going on with this earth, because as we all know, we've been given signs of the times, you know, and it's a very serious situation. They mash up the world. That's why people get asthma. A lot of people have asthma. Remember when we was younger, people usually born with asthma. Now people are just getting asthma, right? Same thing with other symptoms, you know, like eczema and all them type of things. There were things that people were usually born with, right? But now the air is so foul, you can get these things. Like I said, the pollen, he's pollinating, the bees. You know, I'm gonna do a separate video for you on the bees, you know. But that's why when you come outside and you look at your car, you see all that white, you know, you see oil, well, not really white, it's like brownish type of coat all over your car, because that's the pollen. It's got nowhere to go. It's got nowhere to go because it's hardly in the bee. When's the last time you saw a bee? You know, now, big shouts to all the guys that are, you know, holding down the beehives, because obviously you've got guys out there that have to do the beehive thing and just to hold them there, so they, you know, so we have them. Because if it wasn't for them, we probably wouldn't even have any. So research all of these things, you know, don't just take my word on it, like, you know what I mean? Like, research everything that I'm saying to you. You see me, I would never like make a video and put it out if I didn't do my research. That's disrespectful to you guys, you know what I'm saying? So that's not what I'm trying to do, so just do your research on it. So yeah, let's please not forget about Mother Nature, you know? Like when you walk down the road and you're drinking out your can, you shouldn't be drinking out of cans anyway. It's better to drink out of glass, but when you're drinking out your can and you just toss it and you think it's nothing, think about Mother Nature, you know what I mean? Yeah, the bin man don't turn up. Yeah, so you go and dash your stuff on the corner, or you go and put your bag on the corner. But you know a fox is gonna get to that bag, or a dog's gonna get to the bag, or someone might get to the bag, and that's gonna end up, next time you walk past there, it's gonna be all over the floor. You know what I mean? Think about Mother Nature. So some respect for where we're living. You know, obviously they've done a lot to this planet, you know what I'm saying? A lot of things that we can't reverse, you know what I mean? But we still got to do our part. Like I said to you earlier on, it don't make sense we keep talking about slavery. Don't get me wrong, yes, there was definitely a captivity, a slavery 400 years. Like, listen, I'm not saying that it's not a fact. There's no way, I'm not saying that. I just don't keep dwelling on it. You know what I'm trying to say? Because we've got so much to do in the community, even though it's too late for most of you. We've got so much to do in the community of patching things up that you just don't speak too soon on them things, you know, like, don't, like, you know, there's so much that we need to do instead of going on the internet and moaning about slavery. Do you understand what I'm saying? And like I always say to people as well, we will be judged. So if people are sitting there like, oh, the white man are gonna get this, and the white man are gonna get that, and the Gentiles, even if it's true or not, you're gonna be judged also. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Right? So don't think that just because the white man have got a judgment or the Gentiles have a judgment that you're not gonna be judged. Right? And that's why I don't really dwell on certain things. Because them things are this inside hate. Yeah? There's nothing wrong with knowing something and then getting on with it. people them, we got to keep our heads screwed on out here right now. We got to stay focused and do what we can do to help. And don't be selfish, because it will turn on you later on in life. Trust me, all right? So I just wanted to share this with you, like I said 100 times. I hope you're not enjoying the weather. You lot better enjoy the weather, because you know in London already how it's going to be in a couple months, you know? And make the most of it, you know, and take the youth them out, do what you got to do, you know? I don't know what type of end of year we're going to have, or if we're going to even get to the end of the year, you know what I mean? But still do your research on Planet Nibiru, the Destroyer, Planet X. Keep your Bibles, your Qurans, keep your message close, yeah, and never stop reading, never stop reading. Try to do more reading than watching these days, because this internet is getting a bit too much, seriously, right? It's getting a bit, even me, I got to take days off the internet. Right? But anyway, my people, let me stop rambling on. Yeah, like, share, subscribe. Peace.